I'm probably going to jail for this. I don't care. I've stayed quiet long enough. A few years ago, I agreed to be a sperm donor. She said she just wanted the baby and not a relationship. I was young and naive, and I trusted someone that I shouldn't have. When she told me she was pregnant, I congratulated her and moved to California.
When I tell you guys that this story right here is a roller coaster, you have to understand that I've reacted to a lot of crazy paternity, criminal stories where the women involved should be locked up. But this one right here, he made some horrible mistakes, but my goodness, this man came with a binder of receipts. The caption of this video reads, "Unraveling the wildest story you ever hear." Part 1, get your coffees ready or go grab one. Let's get it.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
By the way, shout out to Brett Fairley. And that's Brett, B-R-E-T-T space F-A-I-R-L-E-Y. Let's get it.
I thought that was the end of it. But then she started messaging my mom. She said she had no one and she pressured us all to be at the birth. So we did. We were all at the birth. I signed the birth certificate and I decided to be in the baby's life as a dad. I let her and the baby live in my Airbnb for free. I had to pay child support and she took over $52,000 from me. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was being a dad. She started asking me to be a family, and when I refused, she called me a deadbeat online and I stayed silent throughout it all. 2.5 years later, I decided to take 2 DNA tests. Both of them said the same thing. I was not the father. When I shared the results, she said that I was lying and that we tampered with the test.
Before you all start believing his
That's her. The face of a criminal. The face of a liar, now having to face a viral cup of coffee. Right there. Right, that's her.
shit, some company with her DNA, that could have been anyone's DNA.
She filed a restraining order. A judge silenced me and made me remove all my posts based on Maria's claim that I was actually the father. Here is the court-ordered DNA test that I had to request, and it confirmed again I am not the father. And while I was silent, she kept going. She was changing dates on photos, spinning stories, manipulating people online. Some people believed her. But while she was doing that, I was uncovering the truth. Connections, manipulations, lies, and the truth about who the real father is. This is just the beginning of Maria's web of lies.
Wow. Maria. Surviving Maria. So this is the part where I'm supposed to say everything in this video is alleged. It's sad that a man can have a binder of evidence. A binder of evidence. And go to court, get treated badly, because we already know family court favors women over men a lot of times. Sure, he made the mistake of signing the birth certificate and the mistake of agreeing to be a sperm donor, right? And it didn't sound like he went through some, maybe we might find out he went through some company later on. No, this sounded like it was maybe, you know, done as a favor. Maybe he didn't even get the cheeks, right? Not that that matters, but maybe he did. You know, regardless, the agreement was, though a very naive one, that he was going to assume that she was going to go off. He gave her the baby. He's been a good man. Hey, you know, she now uses manipulation to draw him in. And he thinks he's doing his part to help out. But the whole time, the kid might not be his. Ludicrous.
Here's part 2 of my side. Apparently, I've been in a full-blown relationship I wasn't even aware of. Maria and I had a one-night stand on December 12th, 2020. She was in her 30s and I had just turned 24. And let me say this slowly for the people in the back. We were never in a relationship.
Now, we know he's not going to say it because it doesn't work the other way around. He was 24 and she was in her 30s. They would call this manipulation, predatorial, preying on a mind whose brain is not developed, because a person's brain isn't developed by 25, right? We're using their gameplay here. We're using their playbook. Insane.
She wanted more and I didn't. So instead of taking the L, she turned it into a full-blown homie hopper, like back to back. I wasn't even discreet about it. She just went down the roster like it was her job. I guess the logic was, if I won't date her, maybe I'll change my mind after I watch her hook up with all my friends. Bold strategy. It didn't work. And in case you think I'm still lying.
Yo, shout out to Brett. He just called her a 304. She effed on my friends. That's what he just said. She let every man clap the cheeks. Yo, this story's wild. I haven't seen the rest of this, guys. I'm sorry. It's crazy. I'm going to pause it a little bit.
Her own cousin confirmed that we were never together. I'm sorry, Hadley. I know you hate this picture, but this is the time that Maria asked me to be a sperm donor. So she doesn't want to do IVF, and I'm convenient because we've already slept together once. She says she wants nothing from me, and instead of doing the smart thing and walking away, I said yes, because I was 24 and apparently thought the best use of my time was becoming a discount sperm donor for someone that I wasn't even texting back. I was thinking with the wrong head, obviously. She said, no strings, no...
Hold on, I gotta hear that again. Did he say for someone I wasn't texting back? Yo, he's kind of he's kind of shooting some shots here.
Apparently thought the best use of my time was becoming a discount sperm donor for someone that I wasn't even texting back. I was thinking with the wrong head, obviously. He said, no strings, no drama. I just want a baby. I was like, sounds easy enough, I can do that. I really thought I could just sleep with her and help her get pregnant. And then go back to business as usual. Like, thanks for stopping by. Good luck with the whole parenting thing. Top tier, dumb behavior.
Thank
I own
you.
that, I know it.
Thank
I
you.
genuinely believed her when she said it would be simple. No drama and no strings attached. That's not what happened.
Isn't it crazy how easily men take accountability when they know they just have to? Right? He said top tier, you know, that was a dummy decision he made, and he pointed at himself. Right? He knows that was stupid. But, you know, I bet there's no accountability from this chick at all. So let me get this straight. What I'm hearing so far is that not only can the father be some random guy out there, but it could be one of his boys, right? Because he says this was just some chick that we were all just kind of passing around, having fun with, surviving Maria. And he might have been maybe the more easily manipulated one, who she knew she could pin that child on and benefit monetarily from it. You know, maybe he's comes from the most financial stable situation. Who knows? The bottom line is, where are the handcuffs? Who the hell was the judge who was over this case? With a binder that thick, check out how thick that binder is. Proof on every page. And you're seeing exactly why men believe 100% that child support is a scam. The current family court system is a scam. This is insane.
So this woman told me I got her pregnant the same day she got her period, and then accidentally exposed herself on TikTok 3 years later. May 7th, 2021, Maria gets her birth control arm implant out. She's from my hometown, and she was living in New Orleans at the time, so she could only be here on the weekends. So she came in town the next 2 weekends, May 14th and May 21st. We partied with my friends, she stayed over. She had someone take these pictures, and then later tried to use them to prove we were in a relationship. We weren't. What was I supposed to say? Don't take a picture with me? And then I went to California. While I'm there, I posed with another girl, Whitney. She's only a friend, but Maria didn't know that. Maybe she got jealous, I don't know, but what she did next will never cease to amaze me. On June 6, 2021, Maria gets her period. She knows I didn't get her pregnant, and she also knows I'm about to move across the country. So she invites me to brunch, and she tells me she's pregnant, fully knowing that she's not. Then she starts drinking, like a lot. We then leave and go.
Wait. Why does he think that she's not pregnant? I guess I missed that part.
June 6, 2021, Maria gets her period. She knows I didn't get her pregnant, and she also knows I'm about to move across the country. So she invites me to brunch, and she tells me she's pregnant, fully knowing that she's not. Then she starts drinking, like a lot. We then leave and go to another restaurant and meet up with my friend Dylan, and she also tells him that she's pregnant.
Okay, so somehow he has proof that she was drinking heavily during that time, and also that she had her period, and she self-snitched, I guess, later on, right? Crazy.
Dylan and I think it's weird that she's drinking, but she insists it's okay. Here's the proof that this video is on June 6th.
This place, from California. Hey, you didn't get a lemon in you.
Oh, fuck, wrong way.
This video is dumb, but it shows two things. Maria was drinking, and I made it very clear that I was leaving. And that's important because that brunch, that's the last time I ever saw her until the week before the baby was born. Here's how we found out that she was on her period when she told me she was pregnant. Here's a photo she posted to TikTok to try to prove we were in a relationship.
All right.
She changed the dates on the photos, but we'll get into that later. And then she posted this one. I then tell my girlfriend, who's a nurse, that she took that photo the day that she told me she was pregnant.
This is kind of creepy, man.
Hadley's like, hold up, there's no way. Let me see that ultrasound photo again. So we pull up the ultrasound that she sent my mom. The ultrasound was done on January 17th, 2022. And it showed that she was 32 weeks and 1 day.
This says average length of human gestation is 280 days or 40 weeks from the first day of the woman's last menstrual period. Okay.
I've since learned that pregnancy is calculated from the first day of a woman's last menstrual period. And if we count back 32 weeks and 1 day from January 17th, 2022, we get June 6th, 2021, the day she told me she was pregnant. And we didn't sleep together that day either. Since she never saw me after that, that means that she knew from the beginning that I was never the father. Furthermore, here's proof that I'm in California the only weekend that she could have gotten pregnant. She trapped me before there was even a baby. And the crazy part, we probably would have never found out if she wouldn't have posted the photos. She exposed her own lie, and it only gets crazier from here.
Wow. Thank goodness she's an idiot from what it looks like. Do you agree? Comment down below, guys. Where are you at right now with this? Listen, I'm not a licensed clinician, but I'm just listening to this, bro. And thinking of what this man went through, her knowing what she was putting him through, her being able to play off the emotions and all the craziness. This is some sociopathic behavior. I haven't read any comments, so we're going to check some of those out real quick. Top comment here on this video reads, y'all, this is the real Maria. Oh, shit. They have her handle. Hold on. Good looking out. Hold on. Give me a second here. We're going to bring this up. All right, so here she is. Someone tell this dude to run. Neptune Ball 2025 with my Duke Ryan. Doesn't seem like there's much here. Not much. Chances are, people who are like this, she probably wiped out her post clean. Right? Trying to figure out how she's going to avoid jail time. This is criminal. This should be criminal. This has to be criminal. We're going to talk to Miss Coffee and find out how criminal this is. That's our AI assistant barista, Miss Coffee, of course. Let's read a few more comments here. Presley Bird, thank you so much for that handle. Somebody else who says, man's got a whole binder of receipts. Right. Here's somebody else who says, the video isn't long enough. He needs to FaceTime me all the info. That's funny. Here's somebody else who says, someone call Netflix or Hulu because damn. This is definitely sort of, you know, true crime worthy Netflix series. You in a different spot each video is making this feel like a documentary. LOL. Another woman here says the binder of receipts is crazy. Here's somebody else who added, you, my good sir, are quite literally serving the best tea I've ever heard. Oh, I've ever had. This is coffee here, man.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
This is coffee. This is coffee. Goes on to say, with receipts, keep going. We're supporting you. Somebody else who says, everyone, shh, my show is on. Yeah, this is one crazy situation. I hope this ends up in her facing some type of a charge, because this is criminal.
Here's how I ended up the birth of a baby that I was only supposed to be a sperm donor for. July 12th, 2021, she confirms that she's actually pregnant. We only found that out later when she started posting on TikTok, but at that time she kept quiet. From July 22nd through July 26th, I was with my friend Whitney. She met my mom and she posted it on Facebook. Maria didn't know she was just a friend, and based on what happened next, I think she got jealous. Because not long after, Maria starts messaging my mom.
Hello.
Hey mama.
The night, I guess that we first met, I guess was that night at the house.
I'm sorry, guys. The level of trolling in this video, it's in the details. Look what that hat says. The hat says, my dog said you're a 304. It actually says HOE, but you know, he wore that hat on purpose. Oh, man. Oh, time to drink the coffee, Maria. Time to drink the coffee.
Joe. One of the first things after we introduced ourselves and sat down, I can remember her saying to me that she hoped that I didn't think that she took advantage of my son. And of course, I gave a polite answer to that. We went on to discuss, and she mentioned, how I guess she was impressed with you to be so young and so successful at that age. I can remember her mentioning your house and all your toys.
From that point on, Maria started pulling my mom in deeper. She would ask for baby pictures of me, and she told her mom that baby's gonna look just like me.
What?
She made my mom feel important and needed, and when Maria told her that she had no one, my mom felt pressured to come to the birth.
She told me if something ever happens to her, I want you to raise the baby. And I just remember thinking, this poor girl has no one.
By then, my family was in, they were planning to be at the birth, and I was about to be too. My mom tells me that Maria told her she has no one coming to the birth, no family, no support. She's scared and she really wants me to be there. So I booked the flight on February 23rd, 2022, and it's $677. And I sent Maria the screenshot. By this time, Maria has already had 2 separate baby showers and never posted anything about it. Not one bump photo, nothing. And then a few hours after I booked my ticket,
Right.
on the same day that I sent her the screenshot confirming I was going to be at the birth. And at 8.5 months pregnant, that is the first time she ever posts that she's pregnant. And she uses my last name. She waited until I was fully in, and then she told the world. She didn't just lie, she made sure the lie had backup. The day the baby was born, I was there, and I was the first person to ever hold the baby. And I just remember thinking, this is what it feels like to become a dad. I didn't care about anything else in that moment. My parents are there posting about how they're grandparents again. And then the nurse comes in and she brings in the forms for the birth certificate and the acknowledgement of paternity. I signed everything because I thought the baby was mine, and Maria knew I would. After the birth, she scheduled a full-blown newborn photo shoot. She posed me holding the baby and they would jump in the photos. She had my dog in the photos too and had already ordered a bandana that said Big Brother. She shared the photos online, but I had no idea because I was already blocked on Facebook. She was posting pictures of me and the baby, making it look like we were this perfect little family. And while I'm across the country, she's
Psycho.
messaging my childhood friends. She's asking my best friend Dylan and his girlfriend Megan to babysit, and they do. She starts asking my friends and family if they want to be the godparents. She didn't just ask 1 or 2 people, she told multiple friends they might be chosen. Literally, this is what my brother posted of me, the baby, and my friends. He joked, the godparents who didn't make the cut. And Maria liked the picture. At first, she kept things peaceful and calm. It's like she didn't want to risk pushing me away too fast. Once I was settled into this nice little world she created for me, that's when she started to tighten her grip. And that's when the real abuse begins. Part 5 coming tonight.
All right, we're going to play part 5 here next. One thing people should know, and I think if you look at this, you recognize something, man. People who are just plain out insensitive really do not care, right? They don't live by a set of virtual values. They don't have to agree the same way you do, but I mean, like, they're not aiming to be better individuals. Yes, nobody's perfect, but I'm talking about people who are trying to be good. If you are too naive and don't realize that people are capable of very, very evil things out here, then you become the victim of this type of manipulation, right? Usually people like this chick, they prey on people seeing the best in people, you know, as much as possible, or they'll look for pain points where they can manipulate you emotionally because they don't care. They just don't care about how you think. And I think more people need to realize that people out here exist who are just like this. Insane. Let's read a few comments here before you check out the next part. This top comment says, I love how he's blasting Maria. How you say that last name? Guyan? All over social media. Somebody else here added IG. Oh shit. They're dropping all the handles. IG, she's private. Oh, she's privated it. Yeah, that's guilty stuff. That's guilty stuff, like privating your accounts, trying to run away. It's too late. It's too late. Somebody else who says, Binder gets me every episode. He responds back and says, main character energy. Somebody else here says, it's the hat for me. Yeah, she caught it. Here's somebody else that says, I'm a little sad for the kid though. Imagine finding out your mom did this to someone. That's the unfortunate thing about all this, right? It's that it's very easy to look at situations like this and detach and not understand that there's somebody in there. There's a you. And by you, I mean, there's a person. We don't choose who our parents are. Like, to some extent, I think I'm like incredibly lucky to have the parents I have. I didn't choose them. We don't choose, you know? And here comes this child who's born to a mother like this, who's capable of this type of emotional manipulation. At this point, do you even deserve the child?
You don't realize it's abuse when there's no bruises. But she didn't need violence. She used my love for the baby to control me. She waited until I was all in. Once I settled into my role as a father, once she knew I wasn't going anywhere, that's when it changed. The control started small, a comment here, a demand there, but it escalated fast. It was Easter 2022 and I flew home to see the baby. I spent nearly $900 on flights. My whole family was at the house. My parents, nieces, uncles, aunts, cousins. I blocked off my Airbnb and I hosted everyone, including Maria and the baby. At first, things seemed normal. She was upstairs drinking, talking with my mom, being friendly. I was downstairs with my cousin, just hanging out. The more she drank, the more her attitude started to shift. There was this edge to her, sharp glances and short responses. I could feel it building. Then, out of nowhere, she leans over the upstairs balcony, clearly drunk, and screams down at me in front of everyone, "Get your ass up here and take care of your child." My mom says this is the first time that she saw it. That Maria expected something from me way beyond what we agreed to. For me, it was the first sign that if I didn't do what she wanted, she would humiliate me in front of everyone. After that day, things shifted, subtly at first. But every time I didn't respond fast enough and give her what she wanted, she would use the baby against me. May 16th, 2022, she asked if her and the baby could stay in my Airbnb rent-free.
The baby and I need to stay in your house for like 2 months until I can get our own place and so that I can save a little more. I'm taking a position remote, which comes with a huge pay cut, but I won't have to put our daughter in daycare and I can be home with her. Looks like we're closing this property on June 9 in Metairie. So I'm hoping to be packed up and out of this apartment the weekend prior to the 9th. I'll put all our stuff in storage except our clothes. Can we stay there? And so he didn't respond. And that's when she says, kind of important. You respond? You're deliberately ignoring me. And I'm extremely frustrated considering I'm asking you to put a roof over your daughter's head. Oh, shit. Here he goes. Here she goes, the monster. If you don't want to help us, then let's see a lawyer and sign your rights over and let me. There you go. And I know so many guys reading this have seen a version of this, dealing with this type of manipulation with children who may even be legitimately theirs, right? Let's keep listening.
I don't answer right away. A few hours later, she threatens to take the baby away from me, so I say yes. She moves in, I cover rent, utilities, internet, everything. Meanwhile, I can't rent it out during peak season. I'm losing money left and right, but I tell myself it's worth it to stay in the baby's life. August 2022, I come back again, so I have to drive an hour each day just to see the baby, and then an hour back just to sleep with my parents. I keep showing up, I keep complying, because by now, it's clear. I push back, I lose access. After she moved out of the Airbnb, the control didn't stop. She texted me, "This is what I want from you." She wanted me to start paying the full daycare amount, even though there was no court order in place. And in exchange, she said that I could have the baby every other weekend if I stay at my parents' house.
Do we need to read that? I think you guys
every other weekend.
Oh, why not? It says, this is what I want. I want you to pay her daycare, in parentheses, the full amount. You can have her one full weekend a month if you stay at your parents'. Let me know if this works for you. Let's just figure this out before you get in town. I don't want to have to speak to you anymore. Okay, so she's starting to get crazy here. Okay, so is this okay? I want to get this over with. Can you please respond? We're talking about our child. See, she's insane. Do not forget that this is a woman who knows that he's not the father of the child, man. Don't forget, from what we've seen so far, this woman is doing some criminal shit, right? Allegedly. Goes on to say, we talked about having some kind of agreement this evening, Brett. So we need to figure this out. If you don't respond to me, I'm going to quit responding to you. So that's a threat there to for him not be able to see his daughter.
if I stay at my parents' house. I've never been arrested. I didn't use drugs. I've never been violent, abusive, or even raised my voice around her. There was no court ruling, no concern from a judge, nothing. It wasn't co-parenting, it was control. My access to the baby came with conditions that she made up as she went. Then, about a week later, she posted a photo on Instagram with the man that we now know is the dad. Just something to note, we'll get into that later. Then came the baptism. We talked about this in my first video, but here's a quick recap. I drove 14-hour round trip just to be there. The night before, she asked me to come hang out.
Right.
I said no, I didn't want to give her the wrong impression. So she told me I wasn't allowed to come to the baptism just like that. I didn't fight it, I just let my parents go instead. I was just trying to keep the peace. By summer of 2023, things took another turn. Now it wasn't just emotional pressure.
This chick is over there. I'm not even gonna say it. I'll pray for her. You know that my Christian, I'm remembering God wants us to pray for our enemies. God is good.
It was legal. I was overwhelmed and hiring an attorney felt too expensive. Plus, I had no reason to question paternity. Maria told me if I didn't just sign what her lawyer sent, she would take me to court and get $1,400 a month in child support and $16,000 in back pay. I felt trapped. In those same messages, she said that she didn't want to go in front of a judge. Looking back now, that feels important. I agreed to pay $750 a month and $10,000 in back child support just to avoid a legal battle. I didn't think I could win, so on August 21st, I wired her $10,000. You think that once the court
Bro.
order was in place, things would settle down, but they didn't. If anything, the control got worse. I made my first court-ordered child support payment on November 1st. Less than 2 weeks later, she's calling me names, refusing to let me keep the baby overnight, and demanding.
That was blurred out, but it basically said you're an effing D, Brett. Right? She was talking to him.
More money again. Even simple visits came with strict conditions. When I tried to coordinate a time to see.
All right, so this says you're an effing D, Brett. Won't reach out again. Just make sure you're paying me on the first. Have a good one. See, these single mothers, man, they speak to the father of their kids like landlords. Just get me my money. Disrespect is insane. Goes on to say, I was going to pick up the daycare and okay. I was seeing where it was covered up there. That's the name of the child. It says, I was going to pick up blank up from daycare and go do something with her if that's cool. There, he just wants to hang out with this child, right? She responds back, don't pick her up until 2 p.m. after her nap. Have her home to me when I get out of practice tonight at 8:45. I'll drop her book bag off at school with a pair of warmer clothes. He responded back and says, I'm not going to bring her back that late. I have nowhere else to go with her. I can just keep her overnight and drop her off at daycare in the morning. And she responded back and said, not happening. Man, that court order power.
The baby. She laid out impossible rules for pickup and drop off. She told me exactly when, where, and how, and still refused overnight visits. She insulted me in one breath, demanded child support in the next. I gave her extra money, $30 here, $250 there, all outside the court order. I was trying to avoid conflict and trying to stay in the baby's life. Then out of nowhere, she texted me that she wants to be with me. I told her gently, again, that's not what I want. Days later, she posts photos of me and the baby. Out of nowhere, she texted me that she wants to be with me.
Hold on. I'm going to stop by Popeyes after practice if you want something. So this is crazy criminal chick who's hopefully will soon be arrested for her alleged criminal behavior. He responds back and says, I'm okay. Thanks, though. She responds back and says, okay, sorry if I seem moody. I have just had the shittiest day ever. She responds back and says, I want to try and make it work with us being a family. Can we do that? Ooh, shit. I know he wanted to throw his phone across the room, thinking about that 10 grand and all the disrespect. Oh, man. Justice is being served, ain't it? Goes on to say, I want to be with you, Brett. I hate when you leave us. not his kid. Goes on to say, I just need you to say something or how you feel about that. He responds back and says, I'm sorry, but that isn't what I want to do. She then says, that hurts. Too effing bad. 304.
I told her gently again, that's not what I want. Days later, she posts photos of me and the baby at our house on Christmas morning, like we're a happy little family. By early 2024, it felt like there was no line that she wouldn't cross. February 1st, I make the court-ordered child support payment on time. On Valentine's Day, I posted this photo while I was out to dinner. I wasn't even in town, it wasn't my girlfriend, just a night out. Maria saw it and immediately started freaking out, texting that I should have taken the baby to
Hold on, we're going to check this out too. It says, and you know, it's effing bizarre to me that you can flaunt your social life and this girl on social media, but there's literally nothing of your daughter. It's crazy. I hope she realizes how big of a loser you are. I try not to say anything, but I feel like you need to know how much terrible you look. Then it goes on to list his daughter, the name. Will remember you were never here. Could have taken your daughter out for Valentine's Day? This chick is insane, bro. She's making this about the daughter when we all know she wants to get wifed. Oh, there's going to be loneliness coming. Oh, it's going to end in tears. Oh. Goes on to say, you're never here for her. Grow up soon, Brett. I'm sorry, this chick's insane. I won't hesitate to take her from you. Do better. Do better. Oh, lock this chick up. Lock her up. Fast not so, please.
Your coffee just doesn't taste any good.
I can't. This coffee's bad.
instead. Then she said, keep this up and I won't let you see her anymore.
There's more. I'm not letting you make me feel like my daughter is not good enough for you anymore. I'm sick of it. She goes on to say, I don't give a shit about your money. We can and will survive without you. You keep this up, Brett, and I will not let you see her anymore. Mind you, this is after he posted a picture of him having dinner with another woman, right? Honestly, I wish you never came back into the picture. I'm so over it. Have a great rest of your trip.
I sent her $100 for a Valentine's dinner for her and the baby. Just trying to avoid another explosion.
Just to shut her up.
March 1st, I pay again. $750 in support, plus $31 extra for dance class. Again, not court ordered. Just trying to keep the peace. Then she posts birthday photos, thanking our family and best friends for coming to celebrate. We don't share family or best friends. She just went out of her way to find my family and friends, message them, and inserted herself into every part of my life. I paid for the birthday party, $364, so she didn't need extra money. However, the next day, she demands the child support payment 26 days early.
26 days early, so she's out here blowing the child support. Hold on.
$364.
I need to read that.
She didn't need extra money. However, the next day, she demands...
Let's see. It says, send that so I can run over there and pay this. She's like, run me my money. Paid for it already. Please send that money when you can. Thank you. Early though? And she's talking like this. Why do I have to keep texting you about this? This is the shit that pisses me off. I try to get along with you and you do shit like this. Stop intentionally ignoring me or this co-parenting thing will never effing work. Now, please send the money I've asked you to send 1,000,000 effing times. Jesus, no, I'm not, you're not going to have me use the F word and my Lord in the same line. Yeah, listen, we need justice brought.
The child support payment 26 days early. When I say no, she tells me to die.
Oh, we have more. Guys, I'm already reading it. I'm just going to read everything here. It says groceries, diapers, wipes. Why is this even an issue? She's tripping now. I'm asking you to send money early because I needed it. Do you think I will ask you if I didn't? The move was kind of expensive. I simply asked for your help. Why is this complicated when you're going to Vegas to F off? I'm not stupid. The last time you went to Chicago, going for business, not pleasure, in quotes, there she says, you were posting pics of your little girlfriend, probably paying for all of her shit. Insane. But I asked you to help me and you can't even do that? Over it. You're so disrespectful. Respond when I reach out regarding daughter's name. It's your daughter. Now, please, can you send the money? And he simply says, no. Oh, she was hot. She was hot. I know that pissed her off. She says, I hope you effing die. Good luck seeing inserts daughter's name. The manipulation tactics were starting to lose their grip. She's losing it.
Says I'll never see the baby again. The next day, I sent her $156, not because I wanted to, or was ordered to by the courts, because I felt like I didn't even have a choice anymore. Then she posted even more birthday photos, this time at dinner with my family, like everything was normal. I guess because I paid her, she was happy. By this point, I was drained, financially, emotionally, mentally. She controlled when I could see the baby, how much I paid, what I was allowed to post, and how I lived my life. And every time I pushed back, she would punish me for it. It didn't matter how much I gave, she always wanted more. And I didn't think it could get worse. But then I met Hadley. And for the first time since meeting Maria, I was in a real relationship. An actual one, and it was serious. Part 6 of Maria's Web of Lies will be up tomorrow.
Wow. That's that, guys. Shout out to Brett Fairley. I don't see. Oh, shit. Look at that. We've got part 6 right here. I thought that was everything. Yo. I feel like I need an intermission or something like that. I'm almost out of coffee. This is insane. This is insane. Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait for what? Can't wait for justice. Can't wait for justice. Can't wait for this chick to drink the coffee. And it's going to be documented here. Brought to you by the Coffee Pod.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Let's check out part 6.
But his girlfriend is a little mastermind.
Those nurses who built giant platforms on TikTok.
What the F? This guy hired editing team? Hold up.
Her children.
Okay, I want to take a moment to address the people saying I'm a clout chaser for addressing this again. This became an entirely different battle for me when they attacked Hadley. When I originally shared my story to clear my name, Maria, through her cousin, came online and spread horrible lies about Hadley. They said that she lost custody of her kids, that she was a felon, and that she tampered with the DNA test. None of those things are true, but so many people believed it. I watched the person I love cry while strangers made videos about her. They review bombed her book without even reading it, and despite all of that, she still stood by me. So
he's talking about his girl. Apparently they were spreading lies about her, so on and so forth. Let's keep listening.
Yes, I came with a literal binder of receipts, and I'm going through it in order so they can't twist things again. Because it's one thing to hurt me, but it's a whole other thing when you're attacking the person that I love.
Let's go.
Hadley and I met at the gym, and we went on our first date on March 20th, 2024. About a month later, I brought Hadley to lunch with my mom. My mom told us about Maria texting her recently. Maria was saying that I was selfish, that I wasn't allowed to see the baby anymore, and that she didn't want the baby to grow up like me. Hadley said she can't do that. There's a court order. Because Hadley knew the system, she'd already been through it herself. On June 8th, we spent the day with the baby, Hadley's kids, and some close friends. We played cornhole, we went to a birthday party, and even had dinner with friends that night. It was just a good day. But when Maria found out that the baby and I were at Hadley's house, she lost it. She texted my mom saying I'll get the
All right, so this is the mom's phone, I'm assuming, text messages. And the mom responds back to the child support swindler here and says she's with Brett. I'm assuming they're talking about the daughter. They are at Harley's house right now. And the swindler responded back and said, Hadley's, okay, he needs to start answering me when I ask about my child, or he will not get her anymore. Does he plan on staying there? Please ask him to call me or I will come get my daughter. He does not get to play house with my daughter and not answer when I ask about my daughter. And she responded back, this is the mom, I didn't know you had tried to reach him. I will text him, but he may just be playing with her and not be looking at his phone. I don't know how long ago you text him. She responds back and says he needs to, don't care who he's with. It's a bit blocked there because of the caption. Want to know why my child is not home, sleep at 9 p.m. So she's trying to control things. And if they did have a court order set, she can't do that, right? You can't control what's happening when somebody else actually has, visitation at that time. Let's keep listening.
play house with their daughter. It's an interesting choice of words considering how the story ends. Maria demanded that I call her immediately or she's going to call the police. I had to leave the baby with Hadley and her friend to go to another room so I could calm Maria down. Soon after, I go on a bachelor trip that was planned months in advance. While I'm gone, Maria jumps on Facebook and has a full-blown meltdown. She says I'm absent from the baby's life and that I skipped town on Father's Day. I had just seen the baby a few days ago and already had a flight booked to be back on Father's Day. But reality doesn't stand a chance when Maria opened social media. Her post was public, no matter how many times she claims it was only friends and family. This little globe icon says otherwise. There's no way it was only her 5,000 close friends and family. Hadley saw it, her family saw it, probably half the state saw it. She called me a deadbeat. She said that I put my in anything that walks and accused me of shoving hot dogs down my throat for Instagram likes, which honestly is pretty funny. But the real kicker, she ends it with, the truth is coming out and I'm not afraid to share it to the public anymore. She's all about freedom of speech until someone else starts talking. Anyways, she doesn't answer my calls or texts on Father's Day, so I don't get to see the baby. I'm not even shocked at this point. On June 20th, we head to the Bahamas for Hadley's brother's wedding. My parents were supposed to keep the baby for the weekend, but at the last moment, Maria asked if she could keep the baby instead. I say, sure, trying to keep the peace. Naturally, 2 seconds later, she's texting my mom. She's saying that I chose my girlfriend over my daughter, and now she's going back to court for full custody. My mom calls her out and says exactly what everybody else is thinking. You've micromanaged his every move, he's never bashed you publicly, and you've wished him dead more than once. And she was right. So it's June, and according to the
I'm not going to read all that.
court order, I'm supposed to have the baby for the whole month. But as usual, Maria was picking and choosing what rules apply. June 25th, this is what her family loves to twist. The infamous Lowe's incident. Here's what actually happened. The night before, on the phone, Maria told me that I could pick the baby up from school in the morning. So I did. We ran some errands, grabbed lunch, and then we went to Lowe's.
Right.
While I'm there, I text her and ask if I can keep the baby overnight. She calls me immediately. Her response, not thanks, not sure. Is Hadley with you? I said yes, and instantly she flips. She says that she's coming to Lowe's right now. I was like, no, you're not going to make a scene in Lowe's. I'll just drop Hadley off, and then I'll bring her back to your house like we planned. I hang up, and then I reiterate what I said on the phone through text. I put away my phone while I'm driving. I check my phone when I park at Hadley's house. Apparently, Maria's at Lowe's now. I had multiple missed calls from my dad. I call him back, and he tells me that Maria has called him. And apparently, she was running up and down the aisles at Lowe's, screaming that her daughter had been kidnapped.
What? Oh, this chick is crazy. This chick is crazy, bro.
Oddly enough, her family doesn't deny this part. They just said that I didn't answer the phone for hours. The drive from Lowe's to Hadley's house is 17 minutes. I called Maria back and she starts making threats. Hadley tells me to hang up and text her because I need this in writing. That enrages Maria, but we'll get back to that soon.
Ooh, that was so smart. That was so smart to make sure that there's a traceable conversation thread that he could refer to for the reason why he has a huge binder of evidence.
Regardless, I brought her back with no issue. On August 5th, Maria lets me see the baby again. A few days later, she comes inside Hadley's house. She meets Hadley's kids, she goes into their bedroom, she even played dolls with one of her daughters for a minute. Then, when she comes back to pick the baby up, all 3 of Hadley's kids are there, standing at the door, waiting by. And this is the same woman that went online and told people that Hadley lost custody of all of her kids. She knew that was a lie. She met the kids and stood in their home. That wasn't confusion, that was strategy. Maria knew that if she could convince people that Hadley was a terrible person, the attention would shift off of her, and the truth wouldn't matter anymore.
Wow.
She wasn't trying to defend herself. She was just trying to take Hadley down because she was helping me. And they hated her for it. They knew she had a platform. They knew that people online love to cancel large creators, so they made her the target. Because that was easier than answering for what they had done.
Wow.
On August 10th, I did the first DNA test. That video and the fallout after will be next. But for now, people have said that Maria only shared stuff privately on her Facebook to family and friends. That's just not true. But even if those posts were private, they weren't. Explain this. Maria and her friends were in Hadley's comment section months before I made a video. They were harassing her and spreading lies, trying to bait her into saying something back. Hadley didn't respond, she just deleted it and moved on. Meanwhile, they're in her comments saying that I was behind on child support and that she moved me into her house after only knowing me for 3 months. For the record, none of that is true. But they weren't interested in the facts. They were interested in turning the internet against her before I ever said one word. And I sat there with DNA results in my hand, knowing everything they were saying was a lie. And that's when it really hit me. This wasn't just about controlling me anymore.
Right.
This was about making sure no one ever believed me. And if they had to ruin Hadley to do that, they didn't care. On October 8th, I finally posted the truth. I shared the DNA results, I told my story, and I kept it factual. And immediately, Maria's cousin Michelle jumped in to Hadley's DMs. She said, "You're the problem. Brett was never this confident until you were in his ear. He never questioned anything before you." And there it was. It was never about the DNA test. It was never about co-parenting. They were just angry because I was not easy to control anymore.
Wow.
Hadley, he was never the villain. They just hated that someone finally gave me the strength to stand up for myself. And what really blows my mind is how many creators took their side. Even after Michelle publicly posted that she ever saw Hadley, it was on site. She wasn't even hiding it. She was threatening violence, admitting to lying, and openly trying to destroy her. And instead of calling that out, these creators amplified it. They didn't ask any questions. They didn't look at any of the facts. They just picked up the pitchfork and joined in.
Look at these. Just look at these creators right here.
She wasn't even hiding it. She was threatening violence, admitting to lying, and openly trying to destroy her. And instead of calling that out, these creators amplified it. They didn't ask any questions. They didn't look at any of the facts. They just picked up the pitchfork and joined in. So if you're one of those people who helped them do it, you didn't just get it wrong. You helped abusers keep their power. I'll be waiting for an apology.
Yeah. From modern women. Listen, you've already done the impossible, my guy. You don't want to do something that's just never going to happen. Maybe. We'll see. This is crazy. This is crazy. I don't know what else I need to say to get guys to understand how serious this is when it comes to impregnating the wrong woman. You know, there's a lot of dudes out here who really carry themselves like it could never be them. And why I'm really shining the spotlight on men who are not yet in any type of a position that's similar to this is because you need somebody to be honest with you, to save you from going through hell. That's what this sounds like to me. This sounds like pure hell. Being a father myself, right? I can't imagine how you can comfortably raise your child with such a terribly spirited individual. And that's my final conclusion here. I personally believe, this is just my opinion so far from what I've seen, the evidence is clear, right? From my own personal opinion. Now, of course, I'm surprised there isn't like any criminal charges here. From what I see, this is definitely criminal. Paternity fraud needs to be really cracked down on. Mandatory DNA tests need to become a thing. And I believe they will. When they do, it's going to be a sad, sad day. This is just plain evil. I don't want any man to go through this. I don't want you to go through this. Listen, slow down. Especially if you're somebody who sees yourself settling down with a good woman eventually. You got to think, right? Everything changed when this man actually found a woman who he could actually get along with, who wasn't crazy. She started to support him and point things out and say, hey, you know, I've been here. I've kind of dealt with this a little bit, and she can't do this. She can't do that. I would advise you to find yourself someone good if you're somebody who values that type of dynamic, an exclusive, healthy relationship. Find yourself a good woman and settle down, my friend. Because the party can be over very quickly. Of course, guys, I'm curious to know, what do you think? Speechless, crazy story. Leave your comments and thoughts down below. As always, man, I appreciate you checking out yet another episode of Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.